in your personal development journey, have you ever lost belief in yourself because it was taking too long or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to? And if you did, how do you overcome this lack of belief, or I guess impatience in time?
Yeah, I think people think about belief as if it's like once you have belief, it's just always there, and that's not how it works. At least that's not how it works for me. Um, Belief sometimes is going to be really strong, and sometimes it's not going to be there. And when it's not there, I've had to work really hard to consciously remind myself of the things that I've done in the past, and then also think about the logical way of how I'm going to accomplish what it is I believe in, like the actual step-by-step plan. Because usually when you have a lack of belief, it's because your emotions are involved. You're down, your momentum's low. And so, you have to really separate yourself from the way you feel versus what's reality. And so that's how I think about it. And, there's been a number of times in my life where things have gotten really bad in business, I mean, it's never like out of say 10 days, right? Like this is how I would describe it. Like 3 of those days you might feel really good. 3 of those days you might feel okay. 3 of those days you might be like, fuck, how am I going to do this? And it kind of that's kind of how it is, But I think the key and the way to think about this would be to consider when your belief is the strongest and what habits were you completely dialed into when that was going on. And for me, I just be real here. I injured my shoulder really bad last September. I waited for 90 days because I wanted to see if it would heal before I even got an MRI, because I'm stubborn about going to the doctor, especially during all the COVID shit. I didn't want to go.
When you're in the best shape of your life.
Yeah, I was I was in the absolute best shape of my life by a lot. And, so I had surgery in December. I was in a sling for 6 weeks. When I got out of the sling, I had zero mobility in my arm. Like I couldn't move it an inch. It was just hang there. I lost all my muscle. I lost all my physique. And with that, mentally struggled because training is such a massive part of my life that, not having that outlet has been very difficult for the last year. I would say this last year for me has been probably the hardest year so far. But it's also been the year where I made the most money and been the most successful. But mentally, it's been the hardest year, and physically. And now, I'm back to where I can train just within the last week or so, where I could train what I would say the way I like to train. And, I could feel my mental starting to come back. And so, I failed 75 hard this last weekend because I got super fucking sick. And, I'm just looking at it like I'm starting 75 hard for the first time ever, and I'm rebuilding from scratch. And as I get through that, my skills and my discipline and my confidence and my grit and my fortitude and my belief in myself will all come back. And I know that because I know how the program works. So sometimes, it's just like, you got to admit where the fuck you are and say, all right, I'm fucking down. I need to lock back in and get dialed in and tune this up. And that's why I call it a program and not a fucking challenge, because it's a tool that you use when you need it. Yeah. So when you recognize that your belief is low, one of the things that you can do is manufacture momentum towards where it is you're trying to go. And usually the belief is only low for 2 or 3 days and it starts to come back. And the longer you progress with that momentum, the stronger the belief gets. And the more, that's how it starts to gain it back. We are in control of our momentum. People don't realize that. Like, people think momentum is something that we catch, like a sailboat catching some wind. That's not how it works.
Or somebody gives it to us.
Yeah, it's not magic. We manufacture it. You win one day, then you win the second day, then you win the third day, and you win the fourth day. It's about creating a streak. And unlike, baseball, where, you're going to fail 30% of the time, or 70% of the time to even be in the Hall, and you'll still be in the Hall of Fame. with this kind of shit, you are in full control of your execution. So like you can bat 1,000 on your daily execution. If you bat 1,000 and win your day on Monday, and then do it again on Tuesday and do it again on Wednesday, do it again on Thursday, even those 4 days are going to set you up to catch some momentum. So you need to think about momentum more so as something you create, not something that just magically happens to you. And when you can start to understand that and then start to create it, then you're also in control of the belief level that you have. So that's my tips on that.
Let me follow up on that, Andy. How do you approach like the time constraints that people, the society maybe, can put on different milestones, goals like that, right? Like how do you approach that? Like if somebody tells you it's going to take you 10 fucking years to make $1 billion, and no matter what you think you can do, it's not going to speed it up, not going to slow it down. Do you accept that, or do you still in your mind try to fight that?
Well, look, this is why it's important to be mission-based. And this is why it's important to understand and love your mission, because none of us know how long it's going to take, right? So I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get to where I want to go or get my companies where I want to go. But what I try to do is build the process into something that I enjoy doing, right? And if I can enjoy that time, then the time becomes irrelevant because I'm enjoying my life. You understand?
You're going to look up one day and like, fuck, here we are.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
So like, don't overly focus on like, I want the money. Start focusing on solving the fucking problem and doing it in a way that you enjoy. And like, sure, yes, you in the beginning, like for me to, make my first $1 million and shit like that. Okay. I was very focused on the $1 million, right? And I grinded my ass off for a long time to get to that level. And it was agonizing. Okay. But what I'm trying to explain is once I shift my perspective from just getting that level of success, right, into how can I solve the problem better? How can I improve my business? What can we do better? How can we serve our customers better? How can we get them better results? How can we do this and that and this? How can I innovate our processes? And I started focusing on just always trying to improve. The money just then came and it felt effortless. Because I wasn't focused on it. It's like watching a pot to boil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's also more effective. Like, dude, you're not in business. Like people say, oh, why does your business exist? To make money? No, it doesn't. Your business exists to solve fucking problems. And then the money is the byproduct of how well you solve the problem. That's a fundamental reality of how business works. And you'll have plenty of people that'll fucking tell you different, but not one of them have bigger bank account than me. So it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. So like I've lived it. I've built it. You can come here and see my shit. You see the products all over the fucking place. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I've lived pre-internet, post-internet. And it's, there's guys out there that say, it's all about the money. 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 It's not all about the money because dude, once you have a certain amount of money, the money doesn't mean anything to you anymore. It just doesn't. Like you're going to get to a point where you're going to have enough money. And I know this is hard to believe because a lot of people are struggling right now, but if you keep your fucking head down and work through this opportunity that's getting ready to present itself, you're going to eventually get to a point where you have enough money that you're living exactly how you want to live. And you literally have no use for the extra money that you get. And so you start looking at ways to, be into charities and things like that. But the point is, it doesn't drive you anymore. It doesn't fulfill you anymore. It's not exciting anymore. And when you get to that point, all right, what the fuck? What do you do then?
Yeah.
Right? So you have to care about how it is that you make your money if you want to be happy, because you spend so much time trying to achieve these goals that if you're fucking doing something you hate, bro, not only will it seem like it takes forever, but it'll actually probably take forever because you won't work that hard at it.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of ways to think about it. And I used to be a money-driven person when I didn't have money. But I'm just telling you, when I flipped my mind to solving problems versus making money is when the magic started to happen. Hey, guys, do me a favor. If you enjoyed that clip, if it made you laugh, if it made you think, if it made you have a new perspective, go over to iTunes. Check out the full-length podcast. You're going to like it.